All right, man. So I heard the interview with Floyd blasted Canelo on fight hype for non-fight Mexicans. I think in the interview they also talked about the drug testing and all that type of stuff. So let's talk about it, man. Now, Floyd wasn't even trying to fight no brothers, you know. And that's straight up and down. He wasn't nearly trying to pass the torch to the brothers. You know what I'm saying? And he did kind of throw something in there. Well, why about black fighters? We should have black fighters fight black fighters then. You know what I'm saying? But we the best fighters, so we got to fight the best. He said all that type of stuff, which I ain't going to disagree with him on all that type of stuff. But it do seem like they anti-black over there at PBC. How they moving. I mean, boxing is anti-black versus black. It's really anti-black, but you get that in sports. It's like people being anti-LeBron James, anti-Michael Jordan. Believe it or not, there's people that was anti-Michael Jordan. Everybody didn't love Michael Jordan. And what I mean by that, when you so dominant and great, people hated the Patriots. That's probably the best modern day example I can really say. People hated the damn Patriots. When you dominate for so long, you got to think about it, man. They dominated from Jack Johnson to guys who never run the title, like the Black Fighters Murderers Row. When you talking about Joe Louis, Floyd Patterson, Sonny Liston, Muhammad Ali, I think that's the succession from Floyd Patterson. They went to a champion. Floyd Patterson was a great fighter too in his own right. I think him and Sugar Ray Leonard and Muhammad Ali shared the same trainer. Matter of fact, Mike Tyson and him shared the same trainer. Mike, Customano had the famous quote about Floyd Patterson. He had the chin of a poet. So when you start to look at it and all that type of stuff, when he get in there and start saying, well, he just don't do it because he don't want to fight so-and-so. He don't want to fight Benavidez. Like I said on my channel, I'm fair. I try to be as fair as possible, dude. Floyd Mayweather wasn't trying to fight no brothers, dude. I'm telling y'all. People say, well, Floyd fought the brother. Man, dude, Floyd ended up fighting Shane. He did try to fight Shane early on, but Shane ended up going up there getting the bag versus De La Hoya. They both were chasing De La Hoya. Shane jumped up a couple weight class. Really is only one weight class, with another story for another day. He fought De La Hoya and beat him, right? You start thinking about it, he fought Shabba Mitchell down there in DC. He ended up stopping him. He fought Zab Judah coming off a loss. He fought Chop Curly, almost got knocked out in that fight. That's the fight. If you go watch that fight, it's on YouTube. You listen to the broadcast. They said his daddy called in and told them, don't ever put my son in there with another southpaw. I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what he said. So when you start talking about it, Floyd wasn't ever trying to pass the torch in any type of form. Passing the torch don't necessarily have to be, fighting the motherfucker. Standing next to somebody outside a tank and saying, man, he next up, man. I love Errol Spence, or, I love Terrence Crawford, man. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure they're successful. He wasn't even trying to verbally pass the torch. He showed some love to the Charlo twin. He showed some love to Earl, but a lot of the Earl love that he had towards Earl, he used Earl to protect him from Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was the mandatory. Now, they didn't create the Super WBA belt for Keith Thurman or for Floyd Mayweather and the regular for Keith Thurman. That was a lie by Keith Thurman. But maybe he's talking about they integrated into the welterweight division. But Floyd didn't want to fight Tim Bradley. I don't care about the size of the streets. He didn't want to fight Tim Bradley. He didn't want to fight Devin Alexander. He ducked Paul Williams. He ducked Joshua Clottey. He ducked the whole fucking division. Tell me I'm lying. He ducked the whole damn division. He ducked the whole division. Tell me I'm lying, dude. The welterweight division was at its hottest. Miguel Cotto, Manny Pacquiao, Joshua Clottey, Paul Williams, Antonio Margarito. That's a whole video of him running for Margarito. And I don't want to hear shit about the raps and none of that shit. The raps hadn't even existed. Well, they maybe did exist, but you get what I'm saying. So you can't sit here and call the kettle black, or call the kettle brown. You didn't fight your own either. You sat here, all that complaining about Bob Arum. Only want to promote Mexicans. Only saying Mexicans sell. Blacks didn't sell. He turned around, took his blueprint, ran off with it, did PBC, made money on it. Won't even think about getting a brother. Didn't he say, if Austin Trout He might have said this too. When Off Trout would beat Canelo, yeah, he wouldn't have fought Austin Trout. Like, get out of here. Lara was your mandatory. Thurman was your mandatory. We can go on and on and on about the amount of fighters. You didn't give it Charlo's an opportunity. Charlo called you out. Next thing we know, that nigga lost. You know what I'm saying? You know, Earl did what Earl did with you in sparring. I mean, that is what it is. People say that's part of the legendary status of him, was what he did to Floyd in sparring. We do understand Floyd just got out of jail and all that, but then he turned around and used Earl as a bodyguard from Keith Thurman instead of giving Keith Thurman a shot. Come on, this nigga ran away from Pacquiao for half a fucking decade, dude. That's a fact. He created random drug testing to duck Manny Pacquiao. Come on. That's a fucking fact. He didn't create random drug testing for the betterment of the sport. He did that shit because he knew an ass whooping was coming or a tough fight was coming from Manny Pacquiao. He's fucking fraud, man, when it comes to that drug testing. But you know what? This ain't the platform for me to say that on. It's not. So I really ain't trying to hear that. Oh, you didn't fight the brothers. I'm not trying to hear that shit. He fought Lovemore and Mundu and Grand Rapids and all that, but it was so many other brothers he could have fought, dude, that he chose not to fight. Paul Williams, Joshua Clottey, Timothy Bradley, Devin Alexander. I mean, you can go on and on. Eris Lonnie Laura, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? You can keep going on and on and on. The Charlo twins. You know, so that's what he chose to do. They chose to stick with a financial sustainable, you know, for them a financial stable. They thought was a financial sustainable, what you call it, model. And now it's not sustainable unless Mayweather come back. That's the only way they get back on network television. But how dare him sit here and say, oh, Canelo don't fight Mexicans. And man, you ain't fight your own people. You got a whole company built on deterring your own people from fighting each other. Matter of fact, you want to see an example of that? Look at Tank Davis. He want to put Tank Davis 5 feet away from somebody black. You know, he want to say Rolly, cool. Well, we know what that was about. And he lost a bunch of rounds to Rolly. The next Spanish, they probably look more Rolly in Spanish than anything, Cuban than anything. That's no disrespect to Rolly. We accept Rolly as a brother. Shout out to Rolly. But you know what I'm trying to say. Look at this look at this right now. He came out here, and I agree with Punch Drunk when he said this shit, right? He said this the other day. By the time y'all see this, he said it Wednesday, I believe. He's out to him. He said that Mayweather came out here and basically took blame for the fight not happening with Crawford and Spence. That's what he pretty much did, because he could have just minded his fucking business and had nothing to do with it, right? So once again, there you go again. He don't believe in fighting his own people. He don't believe in making this fight for his own people. He don't believe it. He don't believe in putting his fighters in there. You know, they holding up the biggest fight in boxing where everybody get paid and be in the shade sipping lemonade. He don't believe in that. But then you're going to try to berate Canelo for not fighting Mexicans. Like, nigga, you ain't even fight your own people. You don't even believe putting your own people in the ring with each other. You don't have to wait years for Keith Thurman to get in the ring with Sean Porter. Had to wait years for, Earl to get in the ring with Sean Porter. That nigga waited a matter of weeks to get in the ring with Mikey Garcia. So come on, let's not go out here trying to get on Canelo. That's like these old heads trying to get on these young dudes. That's why the young dudes don't listen no more. Because y'all hypocrites. Now, it's one thing when I used to do this, young dude, I made a mistake. This is how you should do it. No, nigga, y'all still making the mistakes and telling somebody not to do it. Come on. 1 minute Floyd Mayweather kissing Canelo ass. The next minute he hating on Canelo. Next minute he loving Canelo. Next minute he got criticism for Canelo. I can do a whole live stream. I can do a fucking book breaking down your career, dude, and why you not as great as it make it seem. It was rumors that he really didn't want to get in the ring with Amir Khan. Floyd didn't want to deal with athleticism. You notice when he got in there with athleticism, You know, what he tell Arturo Gotti? Everybody know thunder make noise, lightning strike. Every time he got in there with somebody black, from the Zab, Chop Chop, the Shane Mosey, lightning strike in that motherfucker. He was in trouble. And that was an older Shane. That was a Zab coming off a loss. You know, Chop Chop almost KO'd that nigga. That's another reason he didn't want to get in with Pacquiao, because he was a southpaw. So he ain't the man, dude, man. I know about 50 welterweights kick Floyd ass. Donald Curry knocked his dick in the dirt. He's being real. You know, but welterweight and 54 wasn't his best one. Talking about the super featherweight, best weight, probably one of the greatest super featherweights of all time. Talk about lightweight. A few lightweights whoop his ass, in my opinion. But great fighter, big ass hypocrite. You don't even believe in giving your own people an opportunity. Your whole business model, you and Al Heyman, is about to turn black people return blacks from fighting blacks. You sat here complained about what Bob Arum did to you, and you turned around and used his business model and made a bunch of money. It's crazy. That's all I had to say, man. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe button, it's the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance of notifications. We go live and drop video. Financially, you want to support the channel, Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. Hit the link tree, find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, the whole nine. Check out the Box News playlist. You can listen to the interview on Fight Hype. So you got on the phone with Ben Thompson, another great interview by Ben. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. One time for the one time. Y'all know the business is peace.